Morning. I can't talk very loudly because I don't want to disturb the other people. It's, what is it, 6:30 in the morning. 6:30 in the morning, holy shit. Yeah, I slept really good. I went to sleep last night like around 9:30. Hit me with, yeah, you all are there. Good. Hit me with a, where's Tiffany Dover? If you can hear me properly. I hope you can. Hit me with Tiffany Dover. Where is Tiffany Dover? Where is Tiffany Dover? Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. Now, why do I always say about Tiffany Dover? Because she was disappeared by system pigs, by the people pushing the narrative, by the globalist pieces of shit who run our society, who have no interest, who don't care about the best interests of the people. They wear democracy like a skin suit, but they're not democratic, they're totalitarian, not authoritarian. In the Jean Kirkpatrick definition, they are totalitarian. They want to control every facet of your life. And so I always remind you guys about Tiffany Dover, who has disappeared because she took the vaccine and 15 minutes later she passed out, and there's never been a credible sighting of her since. It's a couple of times some posts have popped up that claim to be her, but they don't look like her. And if she were alive and well, it would be no trick at all to have her go up on stage in front of a couple of microphones like she did back in Tennessee in December 2020 and just say, "Hi guys, here I am. I'm alive and well. This is Tiffany Dover." She's got those pretty bright blue eyes that are unmistakable. And so it'd be real clear that she was fine. So all they have to do, all the system pigs have to do, is bring her up on stage. I mean, they brought her up on stage in Tennessee, so she's not camera shy. But they've never brought her out since December 2020. Where is Tiffany Dover? And I'm telling you this to remind you that the system pigs, the defenders of the narrative, the oligarchs that we have in the West, the people who don't care about your well-being, they disappear people. Just like in Argentina in the 1970s and 80s, they disappear people, never to be heard from again. Okay, so why am I doing this? Well, last night, to tell you the truth, the last few nights, I haven't been sleeping very well. 3, 4, 5 hours a night kind of thing. And last night, I slept like a log, 9:30 p.m. until 5:30-ish, 6 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, I felt great. And you know how it is that when you go to sleep and you have like a really, really good sleep, and you have like a really, really good sleep, and you wake up with like all kinds of clarity, all kinds of clarity. In the description of this stream, there's a link to an archive post that is of an article on from the Daily Beast. Yesterday, they tried to do a hit piece on me, and it was just so pathetic. It was incredibly long, and just where was anything? Where gotcha moment? Nothing. Just bullshit, right? But the author of it hates my guts, something fierce. I'm not going to mention his name, but the guy hates my guts, something fierce. I mean, to spend all that effort and energy writing an article about little old me, come on, you only do that when you really admire somebody or you really hate them. And so this guy, cast all kinds of aspersions at me, trying to, with all these weasel words that they're so good at, to try to smear me and claim that I was this, that, the other. Okay. So I found it funny. I mean, I really did. It's just fucking funny. And I posted all the emails that this guy sent me, and I didn't answer any of them. All I answered to him was to have him send me the name of his attorney, his personal attorney. And, through different legal means, I can establish residency in the UK, and the Daily Beast publishes in the UK. And so I can sue him for defamation in a UK court. And his legal department probably knows that, or the legal department of the Daily Beast. But they did something that is not defamatory, but it's pretty fucking evil. And I'm going to read you from the Daily Beast hit piece that they did on me. And you tell me. I don't know where it is. The fucking thing is so goddamn long. I didn't count the paragraphs, but take my word for it. I mean, you can look it up. I'm reading straight from the goddamn thing. So in a paragraph, he says, honest belief may help explain why Lyra seems willing to expose himself to danger. So they establish that they know that I'm in danger here in Ukraine. Both he, his critics, and expert observers note that he's received death threats and withstood efforts to track down his home address from people outraged by his insistence on spewing propaganda. Now, you can debate whether what I say is propaganda or just trying to show the truth. That's on you. You have to decide. But notice what he says. He says here, both he, well, actually, it's not both he and his critics and expert observers. See, because those are three individuals, so both is only for two, but okay. Both he, his critics, and expert observers note that he's received death threats and withstood efforts to track down his home address. So he's conceding right there, the Daily Beast is conceding right there in the article that people have tried to track me down. People have tried to find out where I am. And he's saying it, that I'm saying this, but also my critics are saying this is true. And expert witnesses, or expert observers rather, are saying that this is true. That people have been trying to find me. And then later down, and just a couple of paragraphs later, which I posted on my Telegram, by the way, or I will post. I'm a little confused. I'm a little fuzzy because, the stress. This is a quote. Lyra has claimed that the Zelensky administration, which I call the Zelensky regime, but the Zelensky administration sent men to his home in Kharkov to disappear him, but that he miraculously avoided them and was at least recently hiding out in an undisclosed location in the city. The Ukrainian government did not respond to a request for comment. But many experts doubt the veracity of this account and question whether he's really still in Kharkov. Okay, let's go through it one by one. So, the Ukrainian government did not respond to a request for comment. That means that the Daily Beast got in touch with the Zelensky regime to ask about me, to see if they knew about me. I mean, they're sort of like, hey, Zelensky regime, there's this guy in Kharkov called Gonzalo Lyra, and he's saying things that, you guys don't like. Do you have any comment? Okay, so there's that. Then many experts doubt the veracity of this account. But wait a second, you say many experts doubt the veracity of my account, that people have tried to find where I am. And why am they going to try to find where I am? Because they want to get me, right? And you said so just 2 paragraphs ago. And then he goes on to say, and these many experts question whether he's really still in Kharkov as well. Well, I released that the Lviv chocolate video where I showed the Church of the Assumption, the Cathedral of the Assumption, and the destroyed Kiev chocolate store before this article came out. So it's indisputably true that I'm in Kharkov, and they knew it before they published this. They knew it before they published this. I mean, that video got something like 80,000 views, and you're telling me that this guy who's obsessing about me, who's collected an enormous amount of information, actually he didn't collect any fucking information. He picked it up all from Kiwi Farms. I mean, kind of lazy journalism if you ask me, but anyway. This guy, he knows, or the Daily Beast, they know that I actually am in Kharkov. And here they're saying with the weasel words that escape defamation, because of course, me being in Kharkov goes to my credibility. If I'm not in Kharkov, I don't have any credibility. And so they're attacking my credibility by questioning whether I am in Kharkov, even though they know that that video of me in Kharkov exists before, the day before this article came out. And it was a live stream. You can't fake live streams, okay? So they know that I'm here. But the thing that really just chaps my ass is that, see, they called up the Ukrainian government. Now, why does this matter? Well, this morning it's coming out that the state security services of the Zelensky regime, that is the SBU, the fascist pigs, they picked up a TikToker and they arrested him, a TikToker. And they claimed that he was acting like a spotter for the Russians. What happened was that he was the guy who pointed out that in the shopping mall that got blown up yesterday, it wasn't an empty shopping mall. It was filled with Zelensky regime weaponry and men. And that the Zelensky regime was lying when it said that the Russians just blew up the mall for no reason whatsoever. They arrested a TikToker, a fucking TikToker, a dime a dozen. And the Daily Beast, in this goddamn article, I don't know if you can see it there. In this goddamn article, they're waving a red flag in front of the Zelensky regime because God alone knows how many times they called the Zelensky regime to get a hold of somebody in their press department. Well, they're very sophisticated, their press department. I'm sure they had somebody who took their information down and passed it along to the appropriate person at the SBU. So I want you guys to know that if ever you don't hear from me for 12 hours during this conflict, if it's 12 hours or more, assume that I've been picked up by the SBU and assume that the people most responsible are the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast who deliberately lied about me, claiming that I'm not in Kharkov, admitted to the fact that people are looking for me and want to get a hold of me in the very hit piece that they wrote, and that they contacted the Ukrainian government to make them aware that I'm in Kharkov, make them aware of my significance, make them aware so they can send some SBU goons to get me. Understand what the Daily Beast has done. And when I said, in the title of this, that the Daily Beast wants to kill me, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm reporting the actual truth. How do you look at it any other way? How can somebody be so irresponsible and stupid and arrogant as to think that somebody who is in a war zone, in a regime that actively targets its own people, journalists, mayors, members of its own parliament, even MMA fighters, for crying out loud, who say the wrong thing, how can they be so blind, so arrogant, so irresponsible as to say, oh, there's this guy over there, we don't like him. No, because he says things that we don't like, that we don't agree with. And so we want you, SBU, to do our dirty work for us. The author of this piece, or anybody working for the Daily Beast, I'm not going to say anything intemperate. I want to, badly. You better believe it. But I'm not going to say anything intemperate. What I'm going to say is, you are responsible if anything happens to me. And I want everyone to know that the Daily Beast, as an organization, the editors and the individuals who work for it, every single one, are responsible for it. Because if in the West they are applying collective responsibility and blaming all Russians, cursing all Russians for this conflict that's going on, and if they automatically lionize every Ukraine no matter how low, no matter how criminal, just because they happen to be in this situation, then that means that they believe in collective responsibility. Fine. You want to play that game of collective responsibility? Let's take it a step further. You, Daily Beast, as an organization, you who work for the Daily Beast, you who wrote this hit piece, and every single person who works for that organization, and no matter how humble a capacity or how highfalutin a capacity, you are responsible for me. And if something happens, I want every single person who watches this to know that it was because of the Daily Beast who got the SBU to get me. And if you think I'm being overly dramatic, they just disappeared a TikToker, aired footage of him confessing to God knows what, and they disappeared him. That's what's going on here. Know it. Know what's going on here, and know who the accomplices are. The system pigs, those disgusting, despicable, evil, and immoral journalists. They're the ones to blame. That's all I've got to say.